cracking with your snacking snacker stars? It's Brandon from the sAs, the Snack Food Appreciation Society, coming at you once again for an exciting edition of Pizza Night. This week, I'm taking a look at another variety of Robert Irvine Foods pizzas, because last week after I reviewed his pizza, I heard from Robert Irvine. He told me that it wasn't fair that I reviewed his pizza while I was under the weather. Well, I'm not under the weather this week. I'm medically cleared and ready to go. Let's see how Robert Irvine's pizzas do for me this week on Pizza Night. Never fear, Pizza Night is once again here, so grab a can of beer for Friday night, February 19th, 2016. This is my expression when I think you're going to make me wear something stupid. Yeah, pretty cheesy. Speaking of cheesy, once again, I've gotten a cheesy pie, like I said, from Chef Robert Irvine and his Robert Irvine Foods Fit Crust line of pizzas. Last week it was the Uncured Pepperoni. This week I'm going to take a look at his Margherita pizza. All natural. It's got no hydrogenated oil, no artificial colors, and no artificial preservatives. Now, one thing I note about this box, just off the bat, no description of what a Margherita pizza is. Now, I know what it is, and you probably know what it is too, but if you're uninitiated, like some folks may be, then you probably don't know. Generally, a Margherita pizza has tomato, basil, and fresh mozzarella on it. Looks like it pretty much fits the bill there on that. $6.99 for this pie at my local Giant, and a portion of the proceeds benefit the Robert Irvine Foundation, which apparently gives money to veterans and military families and so forth. As it says there, you can read all about that right there if you'd like to. And our directions are: preheat oven to 450, remove pizza from carton, discard all the junk around it, place the pizza directly on the oven rack, bake for 10 to 12 minutes. Now, I told you last week I was getting a new oven. Unfortunately, it's on back order, so it'll be here soon. So I'm still using the old oven this week, so a little hotter than most ovens, so I go ahead and reduce that to 425 degrees. Alright guys, let me go ahead and get this bad boy out of the package and show you what it looks like. Alright guys, I am back to take a look at the Margherita pizza by Robert Irvine Foods. And yeah, there you go. You see tons and tons of tomatoes on there. Cheese is certainly present. Looks like a little bit more cheese than what we had on that Uncured Pepperoni Pizza last week. Now, I do see some basil, as it were, strewn around the pizza in various ways. Now, one thing I'm a little concerned about is this big black clump right there. Is that a fresh piece of basil? I'm not really sure. And what's that black thing right there? I don't know. Let me go ahead and unwrap this thing and maybe we can figure that out. Alright guys, I'm back. Got it out of the wrapper and out of the pack, and let's take a look and see what we have here. This thing that looks like a large chunk of Mexican brickweed right here. What is that exactly? I'm guessing that's just a lot of basil that didn't get separated, so I might end up removing that clump from the pizza, or maybe trying to spread it out a little bit. The basil didn't take to the freezing process very well. It looks like it got very dark, almost black in some areas, and yeah, that's some basil on there as well. Alright guys, let's go ahead and stick this thing in the oven and see what it looks like. I'm going to check it in about 7 or 8 minutes and go from there. Alright gang, I am back and I have this Robert Irvine's Foods pizza out of the oven, and let's take a look at it. There we go. Now you'll notice it's a little darker along the edges this time. I decided to let it go longer this time because I wanted to actually experience the crispier aspect of the thin crust this week, since I went with the softer aspect of the thin crust last week. Now, one thing I can tell you is, yeah, he had a point with me not reviewing the pizza, with a stuffy nose, because I can definitely smell this pizza at this point. It smells fantastic. It's got a very, very fragrant aroma. thanks to the basil, I'm sure, and especially also with the tomatoes mixed in as well. A really nice effect. It actually almost smells like a big spaghetti dinner to me. I don't know. That's very appealing to me. Taking a look there, the cheese got nice and melted. The tomatoes starting to brown a little bit. I wouldn't worry about the darkness of the back of the crust there because, you know, the review's really going to be on most of the rest of the pizza anyway. And let's go ahead and lift it up there and decide. Looks pretty darn good underneath there. Alright guys, let me take a couple slices out of this thing and show it to you more closely. Alright, you see that I have sliced it in my patented 6 slice, which gives you 2 large slices and 4 small slices. It's a good way to do it if you're a bachelor, let me tell you that much. Let me go ahead and pick up that 420, show it to you. As you can see, yeah, it's a little less floppy than it was last week, and looks pretty good on the backside too. So I don't think it really burned or anything. It just got a little black along the edges. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and pop this baby in my mouth and tell you what I really think about it right after this on Pizza Night. Alright guys, I'm back. This pizza smells fantastic. That's one thing, like I said, I will definitely agree with Mr. Irvine on this one. 100% improvement in terms of the aroma of the pizza now that I feel better. I'm going to get right down to the meat of the issue, even though there's no meat on this pizza, and take a bite of it and let you know what I think. Alright guys, I am back and I will say I'm impressed for a frozen pizza. This has a very fresh flavor to it. Something that maybe I didn't, catch so much last week. Now, I do prefer it how I did it last week in terms of the bake, because I do like a softer crust, but this crust has pretty good flavor for what it is. For being so thin. I'm not a thin crust fan. We've gone over that many times in the past. I like a little bit more stock to my pizza crust. But, for a multi-grain pizza crust that's fairly thin, this has a good flavor to it. Certainly is substantial in its build. The sauce is something that I said I didn't notice a whole lot of last week and this week. That is what you notice right off the bat. It's got a very flavorful sauce. Very tomatoey tasting, which couples very well with the actual tomatoes on the top of the pizza. This tastes like the freshest possible spaghetti sauce that you can make, basically, in my opinion, perhaps without the heavy presence of oregano that you get in a lot of spaghetti sauces. But the basil definitely gives it a nice springy flavor. As well, very light tasting, something that you'd have on a warm summer evening, in an outdoor cafe or something like that. Negatives, it's thin crust. I don't like thin crust. Beyond that, I do usually prefer to have a little bit of protein on my pizza, some meat and so forth, but it's not really missing so much here. I didn't mention the cheese previously. I do really like the cheese. It's not overly flavorful, but it is a very good consistency, and I think they actually did use like fresh mozzarella slices on here rather than shredded cheese, and that gave it good coverage and a good stretch and pull, and that's what I like about a pizza cheese. Back again to the negative, the only thing I can really think of is because it's a thin crust, I'll probably end up eating the whole pizza in like 1.5 sittings instead of over 3 or 4. I think it's you're supposed to eat a third of this pizza, and it's about 240 calories, which is not bad. That's very good, actually. And I wouldn't feel too bad about eating all of this pizza because of that. What's that, 720 calories or something like that? I mean, I eat dinners with a lot more calories than that all the time. Overall, pretty good. I would say also that the basil suffered just a little bit in terms of its texture, consistency. It ends up being a little bit like some frozen spinach, like that big block of frozen spinach that you get when you thaw it out. Particularly that big block of or chunk that was on there, which I decided to keep on there just for the hell of it. And yeah, that basically looks like a big glob of spinach on there. No big deal. Whatever. It tastes good. I'm gonna go ahead and give this pizza just a little bit better than what it gave it last week because of the smell and because of the enhanced fresh flavor. It's not going to get a perfect score, but it's going to get pretty close. It's going to be a 7/8. You may say I'm kissing Robert Irvine's butt here, but I'm not. He makes a pretty good frozen pizza. Last week was a good rating too. I mean, it's basically like a 4 out of 5, right? So yeah, hopefully you're a little bit more satisfied that I was medically cleared to take on your pizza this week, sir. And I hope everybody else here enjoyed this review as well. Going to be going back to regular pizzas next week with a little more calories and a little bit more heft to them, I should say. Thanks for watching. Check out all of our exciting programs coming up, including this Sunday on Snack Briefs. You'll see us take a look at the brand new filled cupcake Oreos by Nabisco. And, you know, on Tuesday I'll be back on the road with another OTR. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Brandon Reich SAS. That's where all the action happened. Thanks to Hugh Will Mahoney. You can also follow at Hugh Will Mahoney, who tweeted out this video and got it noticed by Robert Irvine. So that was really cool. So follow us both on Twitter there. Also use the hashtag SnackSociety anytime you're online and you're talking about snacks, because then you'll know what's happening with the snacks every day. I don't know what that noise was. But also, we keep on rolling with the Instagram at Brandon Reich SAS, through the 4 Horsemen. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. Join the SAS Facebook group. And in the meantime, in between time, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.